Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Welcome to another exciting session on artificial intelligence. I welcome you all. So first I would like to thank TDRA for giving me this opportunity to share some knowledge with you. So this session is going to be a 1 hour session. The language is in English and it's a live online session and the level is for the beginners. So we are going to discuss the history and fundamentals of artificial intelligence. My name is Tausif Abdulatif. I'm a consultant engineer. I have 19 years of experience in the field of ICT in terms of solutions, services, audits, and trainings. I have been providing my services to financial institutes, to education institutes, universities, schools, colleges, lots of services to the armed forces, telcos, utilities, and oil and gas. I have done electrical engineering 20 years back, and I have conducted more than 200 trainings on different technologies, starting from cybersecurity to routing, switching, 5G, and lots of stuff. And I hold 40 plus certifications as well from different vendors like Cisco, Juniper, Microsoft, VMware, some vendor neutral certifications like PMP, CISA, CISM, ITIL. So recently I passed another certification from Huawei on artificial intelligence. So probably this is the only certification that I have for the artificial intelligence. So I also, apart from a consultant engineer, I also work as a trusted advisor for Happy Married Life. Okay. So this is what I do. I do deployments, I do seminars, workshops, and consulting services as well. So these are the three learning outcomes of today's session. The first, I'm going to tell you about the basic knowledge of artificial intelligence. You'll be knowing the use cases, the applications of AI, and it's going to give you a technical foundation for additional learning. Because in this 1 hour session, we cannot cover the whole concept of artificial intelligence. Okay. So that's our agenda. First, we are going to discuss that why we need intelligence as such, right? And then we're going to discuss fundamentals of artificial intelligence, what artificial intelligence is all about, what is the history, how it was developed, and some fundamental concepts on the types of AI, how it relates to machine learning and deep learning, some use cases, and then we are going to have a question answer session. So it's going to be 45 minutes initially for the training and 50 minutes will be left for the question answer session. So why we need intelligence? So as it says, everybody wants to have a happy life, right? So everybody, regardless of age, if you are a teenager or an adult, everybody wants to have a happy life, right? Everybody agrees on that. So when we say happiness, we are talking about comfortable life, we are talking about peace of mind and soul, we are talking about a happy family, we need respect, we want to have recognition, we need to have good reputation among the peers, in the family, in the environment, in the industry. Some people want authority, some people want fun, adventure, entertainment. Everybody needs friends, right, to whom with whom you can share your thoughts, you share your good moments. We get happiness when we get some achievements. We want secure life, we want safe life, we want money, business. One might want to become a real estate tycoon, and some people, lots of people, find happiness by helping others. So lots of happiness is required in our life. Now, in order to get this happiness, like comfort, peace of mind, security, adventure, we need help of other humans, animals, and machines. For example, in terms of humans, we need doctor to give us medicines. We need engineers to build machines for us. We might need a horse or a cat. For the machines, you might need a private jet or a car or a juicer or coffee machine, a massage chair or a TV or a drone camera, right? And if these helpers are intelligent, right? These humans are intelligent, these animals become intelligent, and these machines become intelligent. So it's going to ensure that we are going to apparently have a happy life. Now, the theme is in order to have this happiness, and now we understand we need intelligence. So let's make humans, animals, and machines intelligent. How we make humans intelligent? By training them, by giving them the opportunities, giving them the environment. How we make animals intelligent? By taming them, right? Giving them knowledge, how to behave and how to work, and so things like that. Now the only challenge was, and this has been done by humans from last thousands of years, right? People have been training people have been trying to make other people intelligent, and Now the challenge was we also want to have our machines intelligent. We want to have an intelligent car. We want to have an intelligent massage chair. We want to have intelligent drone camera. So the basic theme is that everybody wants to have a happy life. In order to get that happiness, we need some intelligence, because intelligence is one of the main components that's going to ensure that we are having a happy life. Okay. So this is where this concept of artificial intelligence comes in. So as humans, we are Homo sapiens, right? Homo sapiens is a wise man, right? So intelligence is a distinctive feature of humans, right? Animals do have, but they have limited version. In the case of humans, we have the most, we are considered to be the most intelligent species on planet Earth. So how, why we become intelligent? Because we think, we have a thinking process. So if something good happens, so if we see something, so there is a process through which we think, right? And then we learn by looking at the things, by feeling the things, by looking at others. So there is again a process, right? So real intelligence lies with humans, and artificial intelligence are with machines. So by default, machines are not intelligent. So when I say the word machine, so we are talking about cars, aeroplanes, jets, your machines, your massage chairs, your PC, your smartphone. So all the machines that are being used in the industry for manufacturing. So by default, they are not intelligent. We insert intelligence in machines. So by default, the human element is the more intelligent one. And now we are going to insert intelligence into machines. So when we do this, this is called artificial intelligence. So we are artificially putting intelligence into our machines. So A is about building intelligent entities, right? The processes, the softwares, and ultimately the equipment. So making machines work in intelligent way like humans do. So it is being said that artificial intelligence is a technique which enables machines to mimic human behavior. So whatever the humans we as humans do, we live, we eat, we drink, we walk, we work, we do lots of stuff. So we want machines, for example, robots, to do all this stuff for us, right? For example, if we right now we are having this 1 hour session on artificial intelligence, in future we would like robots to do this stuff for us, right? You can have like Sophia, right? We can have a robot, they can speak, they can process, and if someone asks a question, that robot or a machine can answer as well, right? Now that's the benefit of having these online sessions, that you can ask a trainer, whereas in terms of the recorded one, you can't ask that one. So the bottom line is artificial intelligence is the way we humans behave. So we are putting that technology, that intelligence into the machines, right? So there are different types of intelligence. So there is a famous Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences. He has graded into 8 groups, and but the most famous are the 7 ones. So starting from verbal. So when we say this guy or a human is very intelligent, so that intelligence has something to do with the verbal, with linguistics, how he or she speaks, how many languages he and she can speak, how many languages he and she can write and understand. This is one way, right? So sometimes you see this guy is very, very intelligent because he can understand, he can communicate in 6 languages. So this is one aspect of intelligence. Second is logical. How logically this individual can think from the perspective of technology, that will say it's more about mathematics, right? Adding stuff, deleting stuff, doing the calculations. Then we have intelligence related to visual, right? So things related to pictures and how this looks, how one can understand by looking at a thing, right? So normally if we see a cat or a dog and an elephant, we can easily understand what this species is all about. But for the children, for the kids, for the infants, we have to train them, right? So as they move on, as they grow up, so they start having this intelligence. Then we have the bodily intelligence, how we move, right? What are the things one can do by moving around, by working on that, right? That is in our case is kinesthetics. Then we have the musical one, the rhythmic stuff, right? The art, right? Then we have intelligence related to interpersonal, right? Where we become social, we talk to other people, we help others, right? We communicate with them, right? So just think of a man who just cannot communicate with any other body, right? he or she is too shy to speak or communicate, doesn't want to communicate with the people, so we'll say he or she lacks intelligence. And last is the intrapersonal, the intro perspective, what is within you, right? So these are some of the intelligent types of intelligences that are popular in the world. And now we want all of this stuff to be available in machines. Now that's the case. So we want our machines. In this 1 hour session, we'll be talking, for example, we'll be talking about robots, for example, right? That makes more sense to lots of people. So we want robots to have all this stuff. They should understand different languages. They should understand our mood, our behavior, our needs, that can move around and help us. So we want our machines to become intelligent. And of course, we have to do it manually or through a process. Okay. So, what is artificial intelligence by definition? So, artificial intelligence is a new technical science, right? Although the concept has been coined back in 1950s, I will talk about it later. But as far as the practical implementation is concerned, the use cases are concerned, so this is relatively new. So that's why artificial intelligence is normally placed under emerging technologies. So it's a new technical science that studies and develops theories, methods, techniques, an application system for simulating and extending human intelligence. So we as humans, of course in humans we have multiple different types of people with different intelligentsia, with different intelligence levels. Some people are very intelligent, some people are not. So we have a combination. So when we say a human intelligence, it means we are talking about one who has all that these mentioned capabilities. So artificial intelligence is a technical science that talk about the theories, the method, the processes, the techniques, and the application systems for simulating and extending the human intelligence. So whatever the intelligence humans have, we want to put in the in machines. So AI is concerned with making machines work in an intelligent way, similar to the way that the human minds work, right? And remember, when we say human mind, it's not only about thinking that our machine, our robot, or our car can start thinking. It's also about execution. So normally when we say this human is very intelligent, it does not mean that he only thinks. We consider him an intelligent person who works intelligently as well. So similarly, we want our machines to think, and at the same time, we want them to execute our tasks. So bottom line is we are putting intelligence in our machines. So remember, machines can be a car or an aeroplane or a mobile set or a jogging machine or a treadmill or a machine that is making shoes for us. So science and engineering of making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs, right? So AI has lots of stuff. There are also lots of processes and lots of many fields which are included in AI. For example, cognitive science, the way we think, psychology, linguistics, right? Because if as humans, when we talk in some language, right? What we call a natural language. Like right now we are talking in English, in Arabic, in Chinese, in Urdu, in French, whatever the language. So when we communicate with the machine, so linguistics is one thing. Logic, how things are being done. Philosophy, computer science, brain science. So people think that artificial intelligence is all about computer science. From the practical perspective or from the execution perspective, yes, computer science is the main field under which we are going to study, which develop AI, but there are lots of other factors which are contributing to artificial intelligence. A computer engineer cannot do all design the artificial intelligence by him or herself, right? We need some other players. So artificial intelligence is including lots of technologies, domains like cognitive science, psychology, linguistics, and philosophy. What else? So ability of computers to think and make decisions like human beings, right? So I have added lots of definitions, the popular definitions, right? So that we get a very clear concept what artificial intelligence is all about. So sometimes we think that it's just another domain of computer science, like programming, and we program the stuff and it's going to give us some good softwares. Fine, but there is a lot more to artificial intelligence apart from a single small intelligent software. So machines completing tasks based on set of algorithms is called AI. Now, coming more into technical stuff. So we want computers to think and machines to think. We want them to make intelligent decisions, right? And top of that, we want them to conclude some tasks. And these are based on some algorithm, some rules, right? By the way, we have to train the machines to how to set those rules. So algorithms are set of stipulated rules to solve problem. So we tell the machine, we tell the software, we code it, right? So if there's someone, for example, in case of video surveillance, if someone is trying to cross a certain path or trying to open a door, so we put a rule: if you see something at this point of time, just raise an alarm, just blow the lights or give an email, right? Stuff like that. So we have to train the machines, right? So AI powered machines can be classified into two groups. Sometimes we make three groups as well. We have general AI, which is the normal one. Like for example, you use Google Assistant. In case of Apple, you use Siri, or we have Alexa. And then we have narrow AI, where you use image classification engines. For example, if you put an upload an image, and if software can recognize that who is in the picture, for example, when you are using in smartphones, so it can tag. In case of Facebook, it can tag your friends and yourself. So this is an image classification. So AI can be achieved. So these are the applications, you can say. Then AI can be achieved in different ways. It can be through machine learning, it can be through natural language processing, it can be through robotics, and many more, right? So how to put intelligence into a machine? So we need to do some coding. We are going to put some data in the machines, right? So if something new comes up, they can make a correlation and it can tell us. For example, we are using Google Translate. So we have put all the words in the vocabulary from the dictionary into a software. So for example, something is written in Arabic and I'm an outsider, I want to translate into English, for example. So I just take a pic, or I can translate it on live, right? So this all has been achieved by using machine learning. We are going to see more details, more examples later on. We can use natural language processing. For example, when you talk to a Google Assistant or Siri, you are speaking in a natural language, for example, English or Arabic or French or Chinese. So the machine should understand what you are talking. So if we talk about robots, so just think of a robot in your home, right? You tell the robot, make a coffee for me. So you are going to tell the machine in your natural language. So artificial intelligence can be achieved by natural language processing. So we have some algorithms, we have some processes through which a machine can understand these languages, right? And then we have robotics. Robotics is once again a very fascinating and good thing. I was telling this stuff to my younger son, and he was very excited. And he told me in the morning, "Sir, Father, I don't have to do anything anymore." I said, "Why?" "Because robots are going to do everything for me, so I don't have to study anymore." So I was telling him, it's not like the case. How you are going to buy the robot? Robots are not going to be free. They are intelligent. They will be very expensive. They will have different models. They are going to have different styles, right? So everybody needs to learn. Okay, so how AI started? So AI, this term, AI was coined, developed by John McCarthy in 1955, right? He just thought and he made this term artificial intelligence. And in August 1956, a group of scientists gathered at Dartmouth College in US. There was a conference and it went for 2 months. And the topic was how to make computers simulate learning behavior and other intelligent actions of human beings. Now just think of 1950s when computer just started and they wanted to put some intelligence in the machine, right? Although there was no final discussion or nothing, but one thing was finalized, that we will be using this term artificial intelligence for this domain. So there were many other known scientists in this Dartmouth conference, includes John McCarthy. And by the way, he is the founder of LISP, that is the list processing language. Then we had Marvin Minsky. He was an expert in artificial intelligence and cognition at that time. Claude Shannon, he was the founder for the information theory. And then Alan Newell, a very famous guy, and he was a computer scientist. And then Herbert Simon, and he was a Nobel laureate for in economics. So the purpose of sharing this information that it was not just the computer engineers that coined the term artificial intelligence and they started working on it. So a group of scientists from different domains, from programming to cognition, information theory, right, to economics, all these people work together. They sat together for 2 months, and in this conference in 1956, it was decided that we are going to use this term artificial intelligence, through which we are going to make our machines intelligent, right? And later on, Marvin Minsky and John McCarthy received ACM's Turing Award as well. So in 2006, in commemoration of project's 50th anniversary, they gave this shield. So the Dartmouth Summer Research Project on Artificial Intelligence. So if someone asks you, is artificial intelligence a totally new concept? No. This term was coined in 1956, but because at that time we had very limited computing power, we had very little information. But now, when we are talking about zettabytes of information, lots of processing, then so practical implementation and the benefits of AI are becoming more public nowadays, right? So these were the guys. This guys was John McCarthy. We had Marvin Minsky. So these were the scientists who were present, and they thought on this one. And you can see they become old, and this is how they become. So in 1950, even before that, it was being said by Alan Turing that I propose to consider the question: Can machines think? Right? At that time, it was a big question: Can machines think? Right? It's just like you are having a car, a normal car, or even a bicycle, and you think that this machine can communicate and can work like as I want. Can it become intelligent? John McCarthy, 1956, he said, branch of computer science is the field of mathematics So that was the case where aliens or other machines were supposed to work like humans, right? And from the Marvin Minsky's perspective, AI is the science of making machines do things that would require intelligence if done by men, right? So whatever humans do, and of course when we say men, it includes women as well. So there is a brief history to all what AI went through. So in 1956, AI was proposed in the Dartmouth conference, and then we had lots of momentum going on with the involvement and development of artificial intelligence. At times, there were some delays, and then in 1997, Deep Blue defeated the world chess champion Gary Kasparov, right? So although he later on said that there was an issue, but practically a machine defeated a human, right? So chess is considered a game where lots of intelligence is required, lots of mind work is required. So in 1997, Deep Blue defeated the world chess champion Gary Kasparov, and that was the start, right? And then in 2014, Microsoft released the first individual intelligent Microsoft Cortana, right? In 2016, AlphaGo defeated the world champion Go, it's a game, player Lee Solid by 4-1. So now people have been thinking that machines can do the work what we ask them to do, and top of that, they can defeat us, right? So sometimes they can have more intelligence than a human. For example, I'm Tausif. If I have to compete with a robot, I have set of intelligence. But just think of a robot that might be having the intelligence from millions of people, because all the data from the cloud will be fetched and will be processed and provided to that robot, for example. So how can I defeat that one, right? So there is a challenge, and this is where the market is going on. In 2017, the DeepMind team released AlphaGo Zero, the strongest version of AlphaGo. So we can see that machines are actually defeating. Now, one thing is very important. We are not developing artificial intelligence to have aliens or other machines to rule the world. It's just to have to bring happiness in our life, to make our life more comfortable, more containing a technology. So now, a very common question that people ask, sir, okay, we have developed this concept and we have understood this concept very clearly, that artificial intelligence is about making machines work like humans, right? We want them to think, we want them to act and solve our problems and bring happiness to us one way. What about machine learning and deep learning? Are these three terms the same or there is a difference, right? So artificial intelligence is the science of getting machines to mimic the behavior of humans. We have understood it very clearly. And I keep on repeating these things because repetition is considered as a mother's tongue. So we want people to have this concept clear in this session. Now comes the machine learning. So you can see under the umbrella of artificial intelligence, we have with us the machine learning. So machine learning is a set of AI that focuses on getting machines to make decision by feeding some data. So it's going to give us some statistical data. We are going to give an input. So it's going to give us an output based on the data that we have provided. So we are training the machine, right? So you can consider artificial intelligence and ultimately an application or a software just going like our mind, right? For a human, mind is the one that's going to give a command. Mind is the one is going to think rationally and taking care of the risk and all that stuff. Then from brain, we have, remember, we have in brain, we have neurons, billions of neurons, and these neurons work together and give commands to our hands, to our eyes, to our legs to move and do the work. So artificial intelligence can be considered as a software and an application. Now, how to create this application, how this application is going to work, we are going to take help of machine learning, right? So it's a subset of AI that focuses on getting machines to make decisions by feeding them some data. And the reason why artificial intelligence is becoming so popular from job perspective, from R&D perspective, on covering all aspects of life, because we have lots of data. So think about big data, right? And then we have deep learning, which is another subset of machine learning, a subset of machine learning that uses concepts of neural networks. Like in humans, in our brains, we have neurons, right? We have millions and billions of neurons, and they work together and they make decision. So in deep learning, we are going to use the concept of neural networks to solve complex problems, and this is where your actual intelligence is coming in, right? So we want machines to think like human, so we have to work on artificial intelligence, then machine learning and deep learning. So deep learning is more mathematical, more conceptual, more working on the formulas and algorithms and all that stuff. So these are not three competing technologies, right? So it's not like that. Should we do artificial intelligence or machine learning? So under the umbrella of artificial intelligence, we have machine learning as well as deep learning. So in some other session, we can have detailed discussion on machine learning and deep learning. In today's session, we are just focusing ourselves more on artificial intelligence. If you have any questions, do let me know, or we can have question answer at the end. So once again, so we have artificial intelligence, we have machine learning, and ultimately we have multi-layer neural networks that's going to make our machine learning feasible. So AI is a new technical science focusing on research and development of theories, techniques, applications that we have just studied this one. What about machine learning? So it's a core research field of AI. For most of the people from the development side, from the programming side, if you ask them about artificial intelligence, they say, yes, we are working on machine learning, right? Because machine learning is where your scientists and data analysts work together. So it focuses on the study how computers can obtain new knowledge or skills by simulating or performing learning behavior of human beings and recognize existing knowledge architecture to improve its performance. So it is considered as the core research field in artificial intelligence. This is where you are putting in all the data, right? All the heuristic data, the past data, the labeled data, right? And on which your machine is going to learn, and then it's going to recognize the knowledge architecture, how to think. It's just like, for example, if you have a young baby and you have to show her what's the difference between a cat or a dog or a duck, right? So you display them, you show the pictures, you show them live, and over time that kid is going to learn. So similarly, in case of machines, we are going to teach them. We are doing parenting for our machines. In case of deep learning, this is a new field of machine learning. The concept of deep learning originates from the research of artificial neural networks. So whenever this word neural network comes, just think about the human brain. So this multi-layer perceptron, so in our design we call it perceptron, and whereas in human we call them neurons. So it's a type of deep learning architecture. So deep learning aims to simulate the human brain to intercept data such as images, sounds, and text. So nowadays, for example, in case of safe city projects, I do lots of them. So in case of safe city projects, when you have a criminal, you can just look at the video stream, and you from the video stream you can take out the criminal, the attributes of the criminal, the clothes, and all that stuff. This is through deep learning, right? So the application that we see now in our routine life, Google, Instagram, we have Twitter, they all are using AI one way or another, right? So in case of machine learning, so this is how to efficiently train large complex models, right? So how to train more robust versions of AI and how to design the operation. So nobody thinks how exactly the brain works. We know the basics, and this is where your scientists and doctors and these people are working together to see how brain works, so that if we know how brain works, we can copy that one and we can put that information, the methodology, in our machines. So in machine learning, we have three types: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, or reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning is also called semi-supervised. The only difference is in case of supervised learning, we have the past labeled data. In case of unsupervised, it's just like grouping the similar information. And in case of reinforcement learning, we make a combination of labeled and unlabeled data. So I have added this information just to make sure that you just know the names right now. So we have different types of machine learnings. So continuing with the fundamentals of AI, so AI techniques are multi-layered, covering the application, right? Algorithms, mechanism, tool chain, device, chip, process, and material layers. So it's not only, as I told before, it's not only about the software, right? For just think of a human who or she is very intelligent, can think, but cannot do anything practically. He cannot communicate his intelligence to other people, just keeping that intelligence to his mind. So what will be the use? So when we say AI, it's not only about the application. We are also talking about the algorithms based on which the machine is going to become intelligent. The device itself, right? The chip, the design, the circuitry, the process, all these things come together. For example, in case of device, we have high bandwidth off-chip memories, we have bionic devices, we have new computing devices. In the process, we have CMOS, we have new processes. In application, we have video and image, voice, text, control. In algorithms, we have machine learning, deep neural networks. In the chip, we have algorithm optimization chips and lots of stuff. So AI is not only about a single software working in a standard environment. So lots of other technologies and devices and processes are going to work together to make AI practical, right? Now, there are three types of AI. So if you search on Google and you study books, most of the time people will be talking about two types of AI, weak AI and strong AI. But technically speaking, there are three types of artificial intelligence. But the first two are the famous one. The first is artificial narrow intelligence. This is also called weak intelligence or weak AI. Then we have artificial general intelligence, which is called strong artificial intelligence. And then we have artificial super intelligence. And this is something that still we see them in videos, in movies. We used to watch them in our childhood as well. So let's get into more details. So this artificial narrow intelligence or weak AI. So AI is also known as weak AI, involves applying AI only to specific tasks. So the weak AI view holds that intelligent machines cannot really reason and solve the problems. These machines only look intelligent but do not have real intelligence or self-awareness. So it's just like if you, in case of, for example, Alexa, book a ride for me, and that Alexa opens Uber or Cream or any other service, and it's do the booking. So it is not, you can say, it has the intelligence by itself. It looks intelligent, but at the back end, we have provided all the information, right? So when you say, for example, in case of face verification on an Apple device on iPhone, this is an example of weak AI, right? So although the name says weak AI, but it doesn't mean it is a very bad intelligence. This is the application of AI that we see in our normal lives, right? So it is very intelligent, as a matter of fact. In case of Tesla, right? So it, when it starts, it scans the whole car. Autopilot feature at Tesla is also very famous. This is another application of AI. Hanson Robotics, the social humanoid Sophia that was built at Hanson Robotics, a very famous one. The Sophia is being used in videos, in chatbots, and even in live news, right? This is an application of artificial intelligence. Almost everybody use nowadays Google Maps. So finding the optimal path through the Google Maps, if you want to go from one place to another place, which is the best path, which is the shortest path, right? What is having the minimum traffic? This is an example of weak intelligence, artificial intelligence as well. Okay, so that was about now. As far as artificial general intelligence is concerned, which we normally call strong AI, so it involves machines that possesses the ability to perform any intellectual act that a human being can do. So, for example, the chess and other things, it is, this machine is going to become self-aware, self-conscious, right? So it can think independently. So it's not totally dependent on humans. So this is something which is not practically being achieved so far. Most all the AI's applications that we see, starting from smart cars, autonomous cars, and all that stuff, this they all fall under weak AI. So, from the perspective of Stephen Hawking, he says strong AI would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever increasing rate. Humans who are limited by slow biological evolution couldn't compete and would be suppressed. No, this guy thought that this strong AI is going to make itself more intelligent automatically, and for the normal humans who have less intelligentsia, it's going to take over. At the very famous animus, AI is fundamental risk to existence of human civilization. So this is where we see that in movies and other places that robots and machines are going to take over the planet Earth, and they are going to fight with us, and they will be the rulers. So practically, it's just a conspiracy. It's more like a thought only, right? But remember, we are creating using artificial intelligence to make our life happy, make our life comfortable, bring comfort to the people and things. So it's practically, it's not like that they are going to take over, right? Yes, if some guy with a bad intention develops a robot or a machine or a supercomputer to destroy other people, that's very much possible. So then in the last, we have artificial superintelligence. So artificial superintelligence is a term referring to the time when the capability of computer will surpass humans. So you can have a robotic boss, right? So not this, so this more like a fantasy. This is just a theoretical concept of having an environment where the machines can surpass humans. Okay, so there are different elements. The four are the most important elements of AI are data. We have just discussed data, algorithm, computing power, and the scenario in which we are going to utilize this one, right? So we talk about Internet of Things, we talk about IoT, banking of things, Internet of Vehicles, right? From the infrastructure perspective, so we have sensors, we have servers with high performance chips. From the basic technologies, we are going to make use of big data and cloud computing. So remember, all these things fall under emerging technologies. Based on that, from the AI perspective, we are going to collect data and we are going to have very huge computing power. And based on the algorithm, the processes, the rules, this is where AI is going to grow. So in technically, we are going to have computer vision. Computer can see and can differentiate between humans and different people. Speech processing. So I'm right now speaking English. It can be automatically transmitted in Arabic and other ones. NLP, natural language processing. Then we have planning and decision making and big data analysis. And top of that, all the verticals of life, finance, healthcare, security, entertainment, education, agriculture, oil and gas, everywhere we are going to see applications of artificial intelligence. So there are some fields like robotics, I mentioned earlier, machine learning, data mining, visualization, multimedia technology. So there are lots of subfields of AI as well. So what is the most famous language? So primarily we use Python as a language to do the coding, right? We also use R programming, right? But Python is considered as the lingua franca, the most famous language in which you can develop programs of AI. So it has libraries or modules for large number of specific domains. And in order to use Python for AI and machine learning, we need to have Python 3 or 3.9 or latest one. Jupyter Notebook, we are going to need Anaconda, that is a distribution platform for Python and R programming languages. So it also includes data science packages suitable for Windows, Linux, and Mac. For those people who want to say, okay, sir, now we have learned what is artificial intelligence, how to do the programming, how to code the machine. So we normally use Python as a language for all the data sciences. So as mentioned earlier, AI is going to change or it's going to add value to all walks of life, be it public sector like safe city, intelligent transportation, disaster prediction. This is something that I have been working from last 5 years or so, right? In the safe city projects, we have intelligence over there from the safety, getting rid of terrorism and other stuff. Education, personalization, attention improvement, if some student is not giving attention, so system can automatically judge from the cameras if this guy is having a problem, it's not working fine or it's not attending right attentively. We can have a robot teacher. it, that robot can teach, can answer the questions, of course with some intelligence. Healthcare, nowadays, in case of COVID-19, we have seen lots of applications where artificial intelligence have helped them solve this issue, see the spread, right? Lots of stuff, media, pharmacy, telecom, manufacturing. Manufacturing is once again another big field with industry 4.0 standard coming in the market everywhere. Insurance, oil and gas, right? Lots of applications of AI and they are practically available, right? So we can have autonomous cars. So talking about the use cases, autonomous cars are called the driverless cars. Speech recognition, right? Autonomous planning and scheduling, playing games, email spam control, right? Logistic planning for the military. I was doing a project for one GCC country, and this is where AI is being used in case of military to do the predictions, do the designing, the training plans, robotics, machine learning, and smart data center cooling as well. So we have, when we design a smart data center, so the cooling system is using an AI engine, right, to make sure that no electricity is wasted and proper temperature is being maintained. You also see applications like Apple Siri, Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, Microsoft Cortana, Amazon Go, and Google Lens, right? It's becoming famous. So it's not like these AI applications are only for scientists or top guys. This is for the normal humans. Everybody use, even the kids use them, right? So you can see the footprint of AI where they are right now and where they'll be in future. So one example could be an automatic vehicle insurance and loss assessment. Instead of a supervisor coming, taking pictures and making analysis, it's going to take the picture, do the analysis based on the terms, height, the image, how many scratches are there, where they are dents, and we can have an insurance policy without any human intervention, right? So medical image, disease of risk forecast, all these things can be done in case of intelligent healthcare, right? health management, nutrition, how much food you are taking. With the use of virtual reality, you can even see how much calories this food is going to have. Right? For example, if you have lahm mandi and it's going to have lots of calories, by looking at the image, this application is going to tell you. And this is something that is very much practical, and people are having using these applications on smart machines right now. Right? Then we have Google Eye. So Google's AI doctor can examine retina scans and identify a condition called looking at the iris and the eye by using a simple camera on your mobile. It can reduce and it can see if you are having this problem or not. Then we use Facebook. Facebook uses machine learning and deep learning to detect facial features and tag your friends, right? How it tags? Because it takes the input, you have the rules, it has the intelligence. Again, Twitter. Twitter is using AI to identify hate So the thing that last session wasn't bad, but it could have been used more audience participation. So it can see from the message by using natural language processing that if this is a hate speech or not, right? So these are the practical applications of AI. Then we use Snapchat, right? Machine learning is a subset of AI which use statistical method to enable machines to improve. So if you open the Netflix, it automatically tells you what sort of videos might be interested for you. Right? So lots of applications of AI in the market. And there are some disputes as well because algorithm biases are mainly caused by data biases. So if there is a biasness, if someone has put a bad data inside, for example, Google's image software once mistakenly labeled an image of a black colored man as gorilla. Now this is insane, right? But because someone has put a bad data, there is an issue. The online advertisers tend to display advertisement of low priced goods to female users because someone has put a data that they are looking for discounts, right? Although they spend more than men, I believe, but still. So these AI can have a dispute and they can create problems as well. Okay. Actually, the thing is, this artificial intelligence is going to help us solve our problems, make our happy life happy, right? And this is something that is very much practical. And lots of AI initiatives are being done in UE. If you go to ai.gov.ae, so the UE seeks to be a major hub for developing AI techniques and legislation. So we have His Excellency Umar bin Sultan Al Wama, is the Minister of State of Artificial Intelligence. Worldwide, because I travel a lot, $3 billion government savings, $96 billion in UED GDP, and $37 billion impact on financial services. So lots of initiatives were going around the world in case of artificial intelligence. So that's it. So do let me know if you have any question. So remember, artificial intelligence is a technique which enables machines to mimic human behavior. So questions are welcome. People machines to think like us so that they can help us on demand. For example, if I am going out from my office to my home, the car should automatically take me to that one. So if I'm sweating, so automatically air condition should be turned on, right? If I'm feeling bored, the audio played on the car should be as per my mood, right? I don't need a maid anymore. A robot like OI robot can do cleaning for my home, right? So AI is a helping hand, right? So through which we are going to make our machines our friends, our subordinates, our helpers. So overall, the quality of life is going to boom. So what is the difference between machine learning and traditional programming? In case of machine learning, the trend was, in case of traditional learning, the concept was we provide data. So let me do it for you. So in case of traditional programming, we used to put some data to a machine, right? And based on the rule, it was going some giving some output based on the data and the rule, right? Here how in our case, in case of machine learning, right, we are giving the rule, the data and the possible output, all the information to the device, and the machine based on the rule is going to tell us depending on the technology that it is the best suit for us, right? So we use Python for that purpose. There will be some, for example, love and affection, right? You might have a robot, right, who can consolidate you. You can talk to them. Just think of a child or a baby, right? So there will be lots of stuff like spirituality, for example. This is where AI can aid, but it cannot take over, especially the soul, right? It cannot take over that thing. There will be their job that, yeah. And so as far as data sciences is concerned, so our data sciences includes you need to have knowledge and expertise on artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and top of that, you need to have knowledge on certain tools of statistics, economics, algebra. So all these come under data sciences. So data science is not a field of AI, rather it's a science that tells you how to work on AI, machine learning, deep learning, and use of certain other tools as well. So, so this is a very exciting domain, AI. Even if you are not, like for example, even if you are not a programmer, even then you are going to utilize, you are going to give input to the processes, right? So how does 5G fit with AI? Now, in case of 5G technology, we are using intelligence at the core. Other than that, what is going to happen is, so we have an AI based app, right? And then we have, for example, we have smartphones, we have cars, self-driven cars. So in the center, we are going a 5G network, which is going to provide very high bandwidth, low latency, right? And lots of connections. So 5G can help AI application to run the car, right? So if you have an AI application from the healthcare, so a doctor sitting over here in a head office, for example, in USA, and we have a patient in UAE. So in order to communicate, right, efficiently, timely, with high speed, with low latency, with high reliability, we can make use of the 5G technology, right? And top of that, 5G infrastructure that has built-in artificial intelligence as well. So the softwares and other things that we are going to use in 5G, they will be driven by AI. So the answer to the question would be, say, 5G can work as a platform to give access from artificial intelligence based app to the end user, an IoT or a car or an aeroplane. So it can help on that one. So any other question? So it's a very exciting field in case of artificial intelligence that we are moving on, that machines can think on us. Nowadays, even in case of old age homes, right? So there are robots available, practically available. So the old men and women, they can communicate with them, they laugh with them. So ultimately, human life is becoming more comfortable. But yes, there are challenges, right? Um, if I have 1 minute, so let me fit up this one. So seeing is believing. So with the development computers vision technologies with GAN, it is hard to finalize which image is true or not. For example, a suspect providing fake evidence by forging an image in which suspect is in a place where he has never been to, or with someone he has never using PS technology. So there are some challenges with a artificial intelligence as well, because if we put the bad data or if we are having a bad intention, so definitely it's going to harm the human race. So this is where some people are of concern that artificial intelligence is dangerous for our lives. The robots are going to come in and the machines are going to take over. All the nuclear plants will be controlled by machines, and because we have been seeing this stuff from last 20-30 years in movies, in fiction movies, right? So we have Terminator and we have Matrix and lots of machines where the concept is that machines are superior, they will become superior to humans. So like in humans we have good humans, we have humans with bad habits. So if a machine can think like human, can mimic the behavior, so definitely there can be a situation where the machine becomes an evil stuff, right? How edge computing helps in developing AI products. So in case of edge computing, the concept is that instead of having all the servers and applications devices at the core, we are putting at the edge, near to the end user. So the benefit would be that in case of artificial intelligence, there will be less delay in terms of connectivity with the end computing device. So the benefit would be we can have lots of applications which are available at the edge layer instead of going to the core, because applications like healthcare, especially in case of online surgeries, you need very low latency. Like for example, in case of 5G, it says that we are going to have very low latency, like 1 millisecond. But it also depends on the environment. If you have already too much noise, interference, or you are inside a room where you have less signals. So in that case, edge computing is going to help on that one. So we can even have high processing. So instead of sending a packet from your end user all the way to the data center, it is better if we place some of the applications at the edge layer. What else? So the theme of today's session is not just to cover all the domains of AI. AI is a big domain. It's very fascinating. It's very encouraging. It's very good. Theme is to give you a technical foundation that what AI is all about. So we are making machines intelligent. How we are making machines intelligent? By feeding the data, by having natural processing language. We are working on neural level, right? We are using different languages like Python, the concept, so that they can help, right? So the theme of the session was to give you the basic knowledge what AI is all about. I hope everybody is having a clear concept what AI is all about. To gain a perspective, I have shown you some of the use cases, starting from insurance to health. You are using Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the applications that you use, YouTube for that matter. They are all using AI one way or another, right? So even the young engineers, they are using different softwares for this purpose. That if you smile, it automatically says, okay, you are smiling. If you just change your eye struck like this one, it can automatically detect that you are having a bad feeling. So things like that. So the theme of this session was give you a technical foundation that you can later on go on. You can study more on AI, machine learning, and there is a big market out there. At times, it is being said that from the job perspective, from the career perspective, it is considered as the among the top layer where you have the growth and the future. So this is good for the experienced people as well for the newcomers in the field. Any other question? So thank you very much. Thank you TDRA for giving me this opportunity once again. I encourage all of you to study more in details. So thank you very much for taking time out and listening to this session. Assalamu alaikum.